I
Why
think I
would
have
you
like
want to do that?
a research paper due like next Tuesday. I haven't even started. I don't even want to start. I was literally looking at my grade. I was like,
No,
if I
it's
got a
crazy.
0, do I still pass? And I was like,
Yeah, right.
oh,
You
I
should
do.
add
I
numbers.
do.
Yeah, you're
Yeah.
like 50%. I could get a 50.
I could get away with that. I could get a 50. I literally do that. I was like,
Yeah.
I could get a 50 and I could still get a good grade that I think is worth passing. So I was like, I just got to try half as hard.
All right. What's up, y'all? It's Josh coming at you with episode 5 now of the JCPennyless Podcast. Make sure to like, subscribe, all that stuff. And we got our boy Connor here today with a new face y'all haven't
Hello.
seen, which is my roommate Dom over here. And Dom, I'll let you introduce yourself.
What's up, guys? I'm Dom. I'm Josh's roommate, and we go to school with each other. We go to WSU. I'm a nursing major. We are almost at the end of the school year, so we just grinding through right now. Thank you guys
Like
for having me
3
on the
weeks.
podcast.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
sir. 3 more weeks. Let's get it.
So, we've also haven't posted in 3 weeks?
3 weeks
we've
also.
all been super busy and we've all gotten sick. I think we've all gotten food poisoning over the past month. We all had food poisoning.
Boy.
So. Oh, fuck that.
Yeah.
That sucks.
No, I know
Yeah,
Josh got a, what's it called? What'd you get, Josh? Strep, right? You got a strep?
Been a hectic few weeks and, we've been busy with school and Dead Week's going to be coming up soon.
Yeah, Dead Week's next week. So, or this week, actually. This week right here.
This week is
Yeah,
Dead
I think
Week.
today. Yeah, this week is Dead Week
Yeah,
because all
so
my
it's just
finals
crazy.
are next week. So
Yeah. It was a great time for me to get strep throat, last week when I had a whole conference and stuff to get it. But we're all good though. We got past it. We got the antibiotics and stuff. But
It didn't last
we were
that long, though.
yeah, it was about a couple of days.
A couple of days.
I remember we
It
talked
was
about,
crazy because I just didn't hear from. I didn't even hear from him. He's right next door. I didn't see him at all. And then the people was telling me that he was, is Josh okay? I was like, what are y'all talking about? What do you mean? I went to the center and everything. Vito was at everyone there was like, yo, I heard Josh had to go to the ER, or no, had to go to urgent care. I said, what are you talking about?
What you got? I was gonna mention how Connor's been sick with food poisoning. Dom's been sick with food poisoning. I've been sick with strep throat and shit. So that's why we've been gone. School's been busy. That's the biggest reason. So, yep.
There we go.
Yeah, there you go.
All right, so we're gonna transition into the questions. So our first question is a time that you felt unsafe. Well, not really a question, but kind of an experience. I talked to Josh about this yesterday because a couple days ago I had quite the experience. So I was sleeping. I'm a very light sleeper, so I tend to wake up numerous times throughout the night just to random noises and all that. And I thought I heard my doorbell ring. And so I look outside my window. My window overlooks the door. And I saw someone standing there at my door. I couldn't see his face, but he had a Sounders jersey on. And my neighbor, Ollie, who we'll probably have on the podcast at some point, he's a big soccer guy. So I immediately thought it was him. And I was like, okay, what does he want at 3 a.m? And I walked down there, just not thinking at the context of the situation at all, and it turns out it was a childhood friend from 10 years ago that I hadn't talked to. I opened the door and I was shocked. I was like, what are you doing here? It's 3 a.m. And he's like, hey, me and my brother just got into a fight, can I spend the night? And I was shocked because I didn't know what to say in that moment. And I was like, well, we haven't talked in 10 years. I'm not sure if I'm comfortable letting you inside my house. If it was you guys,
Hell nah.
That's fine. So I was like, let me go ask my mom. And I went and asked her. I woke her up at 3 a.m. I feel bad about that, but she was like, don't let him in. And I was like, I was leaning towards that answer as well. My gut instinct was telling me not to let him in just because I've been a little bit scared after that Idaho murder incident because I was down at Wazoo for that weekend. So, and that, that's been a nationwide story and it was scary and tragic, so I'm a little bit more cautious with letting people into my household. And for me, I always thought my neighborhood and my house was relatively safe, but here we have someone who I hadn't talked to in 10 years knows exactly where I live, and I'm sure we all know where most people live, but kind of left me a little bit uneasy. So I told him, I'm not going to let you in. Sorry about that. Yeah, it was just a little interesting, a little scary.
Yeah,
I don't know if I definitely felt like a horror movie character just opening the door at 3 a.m. I didn't even think about it. I was like, oh, okay, my friend's here. I'm just going to open the door. I didn't even think about the context or anything. So,
moral story.
Were you home by yourself?
Yeah. Or my parents were asleep as well. So But
Okay, said
the
your
more I
mom
think
said
about it,
yes.
yeah. Oh, if I
What
don't think
would you
she
have
would have
done?
said yes. If my mom said yes, I would have been like, I probably would have just lied. Honestly, I probably would have just lied. Because the more I think about it, like I could have died if someone had some like ill intentions, right? I literally just opened that door like
It's
with
crazy.
no conscious thought about it. Like I know it was 3 a.m. I was a little tired, but like I opened that dude. Someone literally could have just shot me, and I could have. That
For
thing
sure.
scares me a little bit. So
They could have like invaded your house for real. It'd been
exactly.
crazy.
And
Right
then
when you
like
open the
even
door.
if we do let him in, I was just like, what's stopping him from like? Obviously, this is a very
Nah, yeah.
intrusive thought, but like, what's stopping him from just either murdering everybody or like taking everything from our
Stealing or
house? So
anything.
exactly.
I mean, yeah, it's sad to think to like say that or even have think that, but
Mhm.
now in our today's like society, it's like you have to be careful. You have to be more safe than
Exactly.
sorry.
Yeah.
So
For sure.
good thing you didn't do that, man, because
I'm gonna get a ring
that would have
camera.
been
I'm gonna be a
crazy.
little bit more smarter with my door opening. So
For sure. For sure.
That's what I'm saying.
Especially like someone like 10 years ago, like that's such a like specific like.
oh
If it was like me or if it was
Yeah.
like me, like it wouldn't be that big a deal just because like it'd
yeah,
be weird
yeah.
3 a.m. But like it wouldn't be but like some guy you haven't talked to and like some like it's a friend, but 10 years ago, like that is someone.
Yeah.
It's just like I don't feel comfortable, you being in
That's
my
a
house.
long
No,
time.
that's at that point.
So
It's not even a friend anymore. He's more of a stranger. If it's been 10 years, you guys haven't communicated at all. That's more of a stranger.
Yeah.
So that's like nah.
Yeah, I think for me, a time I felt unsafe was, well, like you mentioned earlier, I think the biggest time I felt unsafe was that night of the Idaho murder. Like we were just all of us, like it had to be that weekend too, because we had everybody come up. We had our friends from back home, like Connor, come up to WSU, and we had just a lot of people over, and we're like, hey, like on the news, it said like someone got murdered. So we're like, oh shit, like where is that? And it was in U of I, which is like 15 minutes away. It was like kind of eye opening because like there was just a bunch of stuff that happened that night. Like somebody kind of like crashed their car into some pipes or something, so that also like made our water
I
red.
remember.
So we were like,
Flooded the whole parking lot,
it
man.
like
It's
the parking lot was
crazy.
full of water. Then if you turn on the faucet, it was like red water. We were like, what the fuck? Or not red,
There's a
not the
lot
faucet,
of
the
things.
toilet. The toilet was red. And we were just like,
Mm-hmm.
It
dude,
was
like
orange, bro. I
stuff
was like,
is
ugh.
yeah, like stuff is going crazy. Then it's just like, oh my gosh. So then we heard the Idaho murder. Then it was like, yeah, that guy's actually went to WSU. So it was like it made it even more like scary and stuff. So it was just, every time like stuff happened at WSU, kind of just started scaring me now. Like before, like probably not the smartest thing, but we didn't really lock our doors like that.
Nah.
But like now it's like, dude, like, hey, can we lock the door like every time we leave? Almost like if it's daytime, it's a little bit more lenient, but like nighttime, like that thing's locked. So it's just like that's probably one of the few times where like I truly felt unsafe because I was just like, dude, they're really like someone could be just obviously it's so specific to go to our like apartment at anyone's, but what's stopping for someone from just checking everyone? You know what I mean? And then just kind
That's
of
what I'm
like, oh, this
saying.
one's
Like,
open. All right, I could go in, take some of their shoes. Oh, so and then not expect us to be there. Then they see us, and they could do anything. So it's just like that
Exactly.
shit's scary. Like I don't, like that one really opened my eyes. Like I don't know, WSU this year's been kind of
no, even
iffy with
last year
it. Like
too.
yeah, like there's like a SWAT team like
Yeah.
at like
Oh my
at
god.
like Stevenson, which is like one of our like dorms, and I was like, dude, like is everything all good? Like this year's been kind of weird,
It's
but
been
that's like I
crazy.
don't know,
Man.
it's different for sure.
I
But
feel
yeah,
like these past 2 years we've been here is a lot of stuff's happened in the city of like Pullman and Moscow, the neighboring city, bro. It's like I don't know why they chose like it chose to be happen when we're here, but even last year, I remember me and Josh were just chilling at my crib last year, and then we just get this notification or we just see like our notifications popping up about like there's a shooter at Greek Row, and I was like,
mhm.
oh, Josh, you should just stay. You should just stay at the crib if you want, man. You don't have to walk. You don't have to drive home or anything. And I don't know. These past 2 years have just been crazy. Like I didn't expect that Idaho murder thing to like blow up like it did too. Like it was like nationwide. A lot of people heard about it. Even my family from like California was asking me about it.
Mhm.
Like I just had nothing really to say about it because I didn't really know. It's crazy for real.
Yeah. They ended up like finding that guy in like Pennsylvania or something, right? So I mean, he did end up getting
What
pretty
He really
far.
did
what
the
a
dip.
paper trail. What
Yeah.
I don't know how the hell they.
Yeah, like for real. How do you like connect that? You know what I mean? That's so far.
Crazy.
Yeah, I don't know. Just it's this past 2 years. Just they've definitely felt like a little sketchy at some points, but
Sketchy for real. Yeah. A couple things for me. I mean, I don't know. When I think about unsafe, I always think about times with my pops. Whenever I got in an argument, I felt hella unsafe. But wow, this man about to kill me for real. Nah, I won't put him on blast. Listen, the time though I felt unsafe was specifically when I was in the car. I was riding with one of my friends from back home, and usually when I feel unsafe is if is around people that I don't know, and then if it's an area that I don't know. we happened to be in that predicament. Both of them. We were in an area we didn't really know, and we were surrounded with people we didn't know. We kind of had to pick up one of the boys, and he ended up bringing up some of his boys, and they weren't like the classiest of guys, but we didn't, we were gonna be nice. We was like, yeah, you go roll with us, and we kind of dropped them off in an area that we weren't, the most fond of, and we didn't really know. And let's just say we were just in the wrong place at the wrong time, and we felt very unsafe. But we were able to get out safe and sound, so that was good. And yeah, I mean that was the most unsafe because I remember I was literally like probably shaking in my boots. I was really shaking. I was like, oh my god, I was kind of breathing hard. I was like, I don't know these dudes for real. So I mean, they were sitting right behind me in the passenger seat. And I was like, hey man, these dudes could really do anything right now. And luckily they didn't. It was cool. But I mean, it's just that point where you're like, I don't know these guys. Uncomfortable environment that I'm surrounded in. You just don't know. So it's just that fact of the unknown that could happen. I think that was what was very uncomfortable for me.
I mean, that makes sense. I mean, just being like in an unfamiliar area is just, you don't know where to go.
Yeah, exactly. It's like I don't know where we could have ended up for real. So we believed in good karma. So we dropped them off to do the right thing. I guess
That's good.
Anything could happen.
For sure. At least you got us safe.
Right. To transition to a much lighter topic, are living alternatives the new norm? And what I mean by that is living in a van or living in an RV or something other than like an apartment or house, especially with like the high cost of living nowadays, especially where we're at. I mean, Washington's up there on the cost of living.
It's getting up there now.
Yeah. I think I know I've been seeing those TikToks where they're like, oh, like this guy's like living in his car pretty much, like his left, like his his driver's seat, but then his right seat is like converted into a bed. I think that's pretty it's pretty cool. Like I think it's something I could maybe like do for a certain amount of time, but definitely not for the rest of my life kind of thing. Like it definitely like a an investment of like, hey, maybe like I'm gonna traveling and like an RV thing. Like I feel like that'd be something I do with like my family and stuff. I don't know. I think that'd just be too much for me, like to. Because like that eliminates so much. Because I think a big thing, like at least in my family, is having family come over for like events or something like that. And it's like you can't really do that when you're like in an RV. You know what I mean? So it's just kind of like I mean like there's like pros and cons with either of it. But I think for me personally, I don't think I could do it. I think it definitely have to be like year round like road trip where I go around all of like the United States or something. That's probably like, the only time I could think of myself doing that. But I can see like why someone would want to do that if they're just like really. They don't like being in the same spot kind of thing. So, but for me personally, I couldn't do it.
Well, I was just going to say, recently I went to one of Anna's soccer games and there was like an RV like place right next to it. So, we thought we'd look at some. Damn, those RVs they're hella big now. Holy crap. And I was looking at it, I was like, it's kind of like the size of a small apartment in a way. And some of them have like really nice kitchen. Like they have an island in an RV in a kitchen. Jeez. I was like, that's crazy. And they have tons of storage and like I think like an in-unit washer and dryer. I think with the newer updated ones.
The hell?
So I was thinking about for me I wouldn't travel with the RV because dude you're getting like 10 miles a gallon with that tugging that thing along. So I mean I'd probably just like park it somewhere like either on like a piece of property or like someplace that houses or that allows RVs to stay at. I think my main reason I was kind of looking into it was when I'm paying for it, it was first off significantly less monthly payments than like rent.
Hell yeah.
I think it's like probably under $1,000 to pay for an RV compared to like an apartment, which is like north of $2,000. So, and then the other one was if I'm going to pay for it, at least I'm getting an asset with it. Because when I pay for rent for an apartment, I'm just paying the landlord and I don't get the piece of property. But like when I'm paying for the RV, like eventually it'll be mine. And then like I can use it as, for banks, for like collateral or like to build my credit or something. So I think having that contribute as an asset to my future finances was another pro. But I mean, it is also living in an RV. So it's obviously not the same as like an apartment. You can't really customize it that much. I think some of the newer ones have like, really good like amenities and stuff and like top tier furniture, but then like I can't like build something and then put it in there because it'll wreck the structure of the RV. So
no, true. I mean, I wouldn't say coming right out of college, I just straight up living in a car, but I mean it's cool. I think it's mostly for people that like are retiring. and that want to travel, because like my dad actually has a van like that, and we actually like built it where there's a bed, there's a sink. I think, didn't you see it, Josh? I don't know
Yeah,
if you've
I
seen
saw
it
him
before.
too.
Yeah. So yeah, he has that, and he sometimes even just like he works out in West Seattle, so sometimes he has to just sleep in his parking lot because he has to wake up very early and stuff. So it is very convenient to have one, and I think also it's very cheap. Even like back in when I would play AAU basketball, you would have to pay for the hotel you stay at and stuff. We had a trailer, so my dad just said, let's just
Hey,
bring the trailer. We
Hey,
sleep
that's
outside the parking
smart.
lot.
There you
It
go.
was smart, yeah, but it wasn't as fun as like being in the hotel and
with your
with your
teammates and stuff.
with your teammates and stuff. So it was like, I mean, I missed out on that, but I mean, I guess for my dad it was a plus because he got to save money. But as far as like it being the new norm for like our generation, I doubt we're gonna be living in our cars or like RV or anything. But I feel like once we get to that point in age, we'll probably definitely invest in one.
I guess now that we're in college, we've been in college now for a couple. I'd say what 3 years for all of us right now because we're 2022 in
Hmm.
class. I guess one thing I want to talk about was like kind of our time management between high school and college. Like I feel like high school we definitely wake up a lot earlier, and college we definitely wake up a lot later and stay up a lot later. So I think there's just what are those like differences? You know what I mean? Like
Well, in high school, I remember waking up as late as possible, which was 6:40 in the morning. That was as late as
yeah,
possible as I could wake up. I don't know. I don't remember when I went to bed. I don't remember what time I went to bed in high school, but obviously I go to bed significantly later. I probably go to bed at like 12, like 2 a.m. pretty much every day. I'm a lot more tired. I could definitely see that. Like dude,
It's
I got
crazy.
into coffee just because I'm just so tired all the time. Like
uh,
I try to get like 7.5 hours of sleep, but some nights it just does
doesn't
not
work out.
happen. Does not happen. So I'd say my time management is a little bit better. Like for me during the day, like I can prioritize like my schoolwork and then like my job and then like social stuff and all that as compared to like high school. High school felt like all of that was in one. There wasn't really it really never ended. It was kind of like
Yeah,
your social was your homework and vice
Yeah.
versa. I feel like now it's a lot more separated and I think that separation is a good thing. Yeah, I'm just tired. We're all tired. Just tired
for
all the time.
sure.
It's not even funny how tired we be getting, bro.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Even before before this video, Josh was like, bro, we could actually take a nap right now. We were so tired after we took his grad pics. You're like, nah, we gotta record this real quick. Let's get it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's crazy. Just like, I don't know. Starting back in high school, everything was like a routine. Everything was
Mhm.
just the same routine. And like we would all wake up at like 6 in the morning, and then school would end around probably like what 2 to 2:30 for everyone.
For us
Yeah,
it was
probably like
150.
two.
Yeah, to like 2 ish, and then what we had practice right afterwards,
Yeah.
and we wouldn't get home till like what like 6 o'clock. So it was like we all played sports, and then we had to go to practice right after school. So and then it was funny because like back then I was still like doing homework right after I got home from practice and stuff. But now like I'll skip a class, I'll go to one class, I'll be dead tired just right after that, bro. I have to take a nap. It's crazy. I don't know what happened. Like what happened to I don't know, but yeah, like you said, caffeine. I never drank coffee back in high school. Like I just started drinking energy drinks and caffeine late since I got to college.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Time management wise, it's crazy now that I'm in college. I feel like high school I was on a better schedule, but now it's like I sleep a
Mhm.
lot. Uh, I don't have the urge to like I don't have like the motivation to go to class because like we have that like freedom to skip. Like high school
Mhm.
we could have, but I
Yeah,
don't know. I
parents
feel
and
like
stuff.
we would have got
You
chewed
get a
out by
phone
our parents
call,
for real. Yeah.
so yep.
Yeah.
Exactly. So now that we have our own freedom, it's I think at least I take advantage of it too much, and it bites me in the ass. but yeah,
I mean, we're definitely
it's
at that
crazy.
point of the semester where we're skipping stuff.
Oh
I mean,
man,
it
motivation
is
is
dead
just
week, but
No,
like
yeah.
2 weeks ago, I was just like, ugh. I remember back at when I went to UW, and I had to go to Seattle for classes, and I live like 25 minutes north of there, and the classes where I had to go to an 8:30 class.
you're the bus, right?
I had to take a bus,
Ooh.
and then like for the first 2 weeks, I was like, okay, I'm gonna stick to this. I'm gonna do it. But the bus ride's like 40 minutes one way, so it's like I'm spending like at least probably like an hour and a half on the bus each day, and I was just like, I'm done. I'm just gonna go to online school.
Uh,
So
No, that's
yeah,
smart. That's smart, bro.
I
I
think
was too
for
tired.
me, like you guys said, like I think like high school it was just different. Like I'd wake up. Obviously, I'm still tired, but it wasn't like as tired as I felt like now. Like getting up sucked, but it wasn't like like as this chore that. So I get up in
Mhm.
the morning and go to class, and we had practice afterwards, and we do stuff with friends after practice and stuff, and like we pretty much have like 12, 15-hour days, and then go to bed like at whenever. We did that for 4 years straight. So I think in my opinion, I think that's like what it is with college. Like it's kind of like catching up with us kind of thing. That's probably what I'm thinking. But I don't know. Like I don't know what it is. Like I didn't drink coffee. I honestly was like, I still don't even drink coffee. I just drink more energy drinks. But still, it's like I don't
Yeah.
want to rely on that. You know what I mean? Compared to like now, where I could wake up in the morning, like not feel great, skip one class, go to one class, and then still be tired from going to one class that's
From
like
one
50
class.
minutes long. And then I'm like, dude, I need to take a nap. And I take like a 2-hour nap. Then I'm like, dang, did that ruin my whole sleep schedule? So now I'll sleep a little bit later. Then that means I don't get as much sleep for the next day. So it's a whole like thing that just messes it up. And especially like what's called like, winter semester is fine. Like it's the first time you're back from summer, so you're a little bit more motivated. But this one, like I was just like during midterms and stuff, like I had no motivation to finish my classes. The only motivation I had was like, oh, I'm gonna graduate soon. But like, dude, like I don't know if I could keep going off of it. But we finally made it, but it was just tough. I don't know. My routine is definitely different. Like I don't know what it is. A class that's hour and a half like feels forever. Then like I don't know. Like there's just I don't think the last time I don't know. I don't remember the last time I went to like all my classes in one week was. But it's definitely tough. It's tough, man. I
We're all
I
in
don't
the
know.
same boat there.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's crazy, man.
I
Those
get
8 a.m. classes. Oh
oh,
heck,
I had 8 a.m. last
nah,
semester.
bro.
That was a struggle, dude.
I remember I used
But
to I was like, I'll take 8 a.m.s because I used to be an early bird. No, dude, you
yeah,
lose
for
so much
sure.
motivation. And I feel like now dude, the colleges do a great job at putting like the most important exams and stuff like at the least motivating times, like in the
Mm.
in the
They do a great
semester or
job, bro.
quarter, bro. Like I
Why
think I
would
have
you
like
want to do that?
a research paper due like next Tuesday. I haven't even started. I don't even want to start. I was literally looking at my grade. I was like,
No,
if I
it's
got a
crazy.
0, do I still
Uh,
pass? And I was like,
yeah, right.
oh, I
You
do.
add
I
numbers,
do.
and you're
Yeah.
like 50%. I could get a 50.
I could get away with that. I could get I literally do that. I was like,
Yeah.
I could get a 50 and I could still get a good grade that I think is worth passing. So I was like, I just got to try half as hard. There you go.
Uh-huh.
It's so funny you
Oh my
said it because
god.
yeah, even Josh, like we had what's it called? We had a class together last semester, and he was always like, "Okay, I just need to get a C. I just need to get a C. C's get degrees." He was like, "I
Yeah.
just need to pass this class. That's all we got to do." In this class, this was a hard ass class. I'm not gonna lie, that's my second time taking the class. If it wasn't for Josh, I would have failed again. I would have failed again, but it's just crazy like that. Even Cole, like he just told me he was like, "Yeah, I gotta go home. I gotta do an 8-page research paper. I haven't even started on yet." It's crazy how much. It's crazy how every college student like that we talk to does the same thing. We all procrastinate and wait till last minute. But
And
tell
it's
me why?
like,
Like that's when the best work comes out, though.
yeah, right.
I
You
don't know
start
why.
grinding,
Like my
For sure.
everything just starts going at it,
the flow
Because if your
just
brain
comes
doesn't,
out.
your brain just starts clicking. I don't know what it is.
It's bad. I hate that it's like that. But my best work
Uh,
comes out when it's last minute.
that's why it was cool
Yeah.
because there was one of my classes this year that like pretty much was like the whole class was one big project leading up to it. But the way
Mhm.
she had it laid out was you'd have small assignments leading like for each thing you had to do. So for example, like we had, all right, first thing you had to do is find your research articles. Second one was write a summary about it. Then make your outline. Then or make your like your presentation. So it kind of like forced you to like you still procrastinated on that assignment, but at least you didn't procrastinate on the whole research
Mhm.
article and
Oh
paper.
yeah, yeah.
Just it made you like at least get small stuff done in between that. So at least like on the last day, I didn't do like, hey, I need to make this whole presentation, find 10 articles in one night. So like, it made me like I still procrastinated. I still did everything the day of, but it just it was just easier to. It made myself feel better at the end of the semester at least. So that's just
I,
tough.
yeah. I like classes that do that. That kind of force you to do your research paper at the end, but
That's
like
true.
with
Yeah.
related assignments. Because I know some classes do that, but they do it with unrelated assignments. So like,
Yeah.
yeah, you did the research, but it's on completely unrelated stuff. So then you still have to do it again.
We would gradually do those assignments until
Mhm.
it leads up to that last research paper.
It's just kind of like you gradually do that, then you'll eventually, you still have work to do, but it's nothing. It's not as much as the whole thing.
Yeah, it's funny because we didn't even do our we're not even gonna write this paper for one of our classes that we're supposed to do
Uh,
it for. But we're not gonna do it.
Yeah,
It's
we're
just
like
funny.
we're part of like a little mentor thing, for WCU. We have this little paper about us giving back to the community and stuff. And we did that. We gave back to the community, but we have to also write a paper about it. And it's like a
Oh,
1 credit elective
yeah.
class. So
It's like really no
it's
need.
I have zero motivation to do it. And he's like, "Hey, do you want to get the turn, or like, are you gonna turn it in?" I'm like, "Ah, dude, like it's just like,
Nah.
why do you want me to write a paper about something like this?" And it's just like the class is
There's really
random.
no like. Why
It's
would
not
you
gonna
want it?
affect
Why
me.
would you do this?
Yeah, I think he
Yeah.
knew, like the teacher also, like, that assigned it, knew most people wouldn't do it, and he's like kind of bummed out, and I felt bad, but it's like, dude, like I really don't want to do this right now. I have way more important things I got to worry about.
Way more important things. Yeah, man.
function papers, the worst. That
Oh
and
yeah,
discussion posts.
yeah. It's like I totally agree with definitely the thing that you said in this area, so shit like that. It's like it's so bad.
Oh my god, I hate that.
I hate them when they make you like criticize. Like,
Uh,
add one piece of good information. I'm like,
uh
what?
it's like what I don't know, like
It's like, oh, you did great. By the way, this sucked. Here's how to fix it. Bye. Thanks.
I don't know. Those are
Like
the
when they
worst.
say it has to be like 50-word
Oh, yeah,
response.
Oh
word
yeah,
count for them too.
response or
I
something.
hate that, bro. I just say the same thing every time. Like, oh,
I totally
I
agree with
completely
what you're
agree
saying
with
in this
you.
sentence.
I like how you said this.
Uh,
Nah, bro. Copy and paste.
Pretty much. You look at somebody else's answer and you kind of like change your answer
Dude, I do
Change
that. I
similar
do
as
that.
theirs.
Yeah,
It's
I
just like,
do.
oh man. It's like,
I
yeah,
do
man.
that.
Like,
I
I
really-
totally agree with the
yeah.
person above me that said the same thing. So, it just sounds so dumb.
So, with the end of the semester coming up, we have Josh graduating in a couple weeks, 3 weeks. And
Like
so
2
I'm going
weeks,
to be down
technically.
there.
2 weeks, bro.
2 weeks, dude. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to come down there and watch the graduation. That's going to be fun.
How you feeling about it, man?
I don't know. Like
Get into it.
get my
'Cause
own
I know you was
perspective on
talking
it.
about how you was. I know you was like we was
You-
taking graphics, and he was like, "Oh man." I just remember. Like I swear he cried. I was like,
yeah.
"Bro, don't do that right now."
I don't know. It's I don't want to say like it's bittersweet, but it definitely is. So with COVID and stuff, this is only my second year on campus because it took away my first year, like freshman year. There's so many like experiences I don't want to take away that like I enjoyed with COVID, but like it definitely would have been nice to be on campus another year. Because there's so many people I definitely feel like I miss, like the friends I didn't make because you either graduated or transfer schools or something. But I don't know, like last year, like that first year on campus was like, I don't want to say it's the greatest, but it was
No,
definitely
it
up
was.
there. It was
I'd
up
say
there.
it was.
It was up
up
there.
there.
Like my most favorite years, just because I was given so much freedom and I was given so many things I could do, and then also the amount of friends I made. Like obviously, like you're in college, you're gonna just want to make friends, but it's also like the lifetime friendships I've made and stuff. Like Dom's my roommate, and I just met him last year, so it's just like made me realize also like, hey, like I can know somebody for a certain amount of years, and obviously like they're my friend, but I might not be as close with them compared to someone who I just met last year, but I really like I hung out with them a lot, and I also like talked to them about a lot of certain things. So it's it's not like a competition or anything, but it's definitely
It's like eye opening.
yeah, for sure. Like the amount
Yeah.
of doesn't matter how long you know somebody for. Like if I know somebody for like kindergarten, like obviously like sort of matters, but if I feel like it's like how close you are, like that's what's more
True.
important. That's how big it is. Another thing that kind of sucks is this year was kind of a gradual like decline for sure.
Hell
I
yeah.
think that it's like bittersweet because I enjoyed my time so much last year. I think that might be in part due to like how COVID, so people came back and people wanted to be involved with certain things, and everyone just kind of had so much energy. And this year, like I wouldn't say it went down, but it definitely like gradually started pretty high got down. It went down. So there's like cliques started forming and certain things. So I was excited to graduate because I think I outgrew Pullman. Like Pullman's definitely
No, for sure.
there's not a whole lot to do out here. Like when it comes to like it's they say there's a saying where it's Pullman's about like in Pullman it's about the people, and it makes it's 100% true just because there really isn't much to do here. Like compared to Seattle, there's like one good pho place here. There's no good teriyaki place. There's no good. It's just so many things that like you can't do with your friends that you kind of miss, but then it makes you also like find ways to have fun. So that was one thing, and I think that's the reason why like I wanted to leave, but it also just kind of like dang, now that I'm graduating, like we're going into the real world kind of thing. Like I'm excited
Yeah, that's scary.
do the internship I'm doing, but it's definitely like it's scary because now it's like okay, for example, like you when you went through middle school, you're like, oh, I have high school, and then went through high school, you have, oh, I have college. Now it's like
Oh yeah. Like
shit I gotta do now. I gotta actually like I'll be on top of the stuff. So it's definitely interesting for sure. Like, I don't know. I'm excited to graduate, and I'm excited to like have my family come up and have you guys come up just because like they've never seen me graduate. Do something like this just because we had COVID. So that's one thing.
Oh yeah.
We never
We're all
never
2020 babies here.
we all never got a graduation. That's one thing where I'm like I'm really excited for that because I think it's almost like I'm putting in twice the effort because I didn't get that graduation. So it's like I'm finally going for that. That thing that I could finally like
traditional graduation that we have.
Yeah, like something I'm looking forward to that I could finally like achieve. Like it's like a tangible thing that'd be like, hey, like I graduated college. Like I'm the first like when I do it in America, it's like in my family. So it's just like it is
exactly.
Okay, like this is pretty cool. So I think that's the biggest thing I'm excited for.
Yeah, I mean, like going back on what you said it's crazy because I remember we were talking about like how we're also used to going home for the summer and then just knowing in the back of our heads, oh, we're just gonna come back to school again and see each other again. But like it's different this time because you're graduating. I'm gonna be transferring. It's gonna be different. It's just kind of scary, but then it is also bittersweet in a way because you're starting your internship, and then I'm trying to get into this program and everything. And it's just crazy that we have to leave Pullman, but then again, it's like a good ending to this chapter of our life, kind of thing.
For sure,
I like to think of. Yeah.
Because I definitely I don't think I could stay another year here. Like. I mean,
yeah,
like, it's tough.
It was definitely fun though this year. I mean, I know how like compared to last year, this year.
Oh yeah, this year like I'm kind of shitting on this year. Like it's not that it wasn't fun. It's just like compared to something that's like up here. You know what I mean?
Compared to last year, for sure. Because we always have like, especially this year, we've always had those late night talks where we're just out in the living room and we're just talking about those like remember when talks, like remember when this happened, remember this time, this and that. So it's like it's crazy, yeah. And then like how you said we only met last year, but now we're roommates. It's crazy because like like a little background on us. Me and Josh met last year. It was our first year back on campus after COVID. I met Connor, Alpha, Josh, Connor, and them came down one time, and it was just crazy how fast we clicked. But like it wasn't even like it wasn't really awkward at first. I think we all were just like having a good time. Nothing wasn't like, oh, I don't really know them, so I'm gonna be awkward towards them. I think we all clicked very well, and it's crazy how now we're doing this podcast a year later type of thing. It's crazy. It's like comes full circle. But I liked how you guys were able to come down a lot too, like you and Matt.
But yeah, I definitely think that was you mentioned earlier about like the what's it called, the cat, like when I was taking our grad pics and stuff, like that's where I think I was like I wasn't necessarily like tearing up or anything, but it was just like dang, like it's coming, it's coming soon. It's really like it's coming soon. Like I think the day of, like I don't think I'm gonna cry or anything, but I'm definitely gonna be like a little like distraught, like it's gonna be like dang, like like I did it, but it's also like dang, like now I gotta leave. So I think that's one thing where I was happy to have my experiences here, and I guess I'm glad that I didn't have as many bad ones as good ones. So I think it just sucks. It's gotta come to an end. That's what makes it more fun, I guess. Looking on to the future and stuff.
Oh, that's scary. That's scary to think about. Sure. Where are you at right now, Connor? Like, where are you? What's next year for you? What's going on next year for you?
Well, I plan to graduate fall 2024, I think, and then I still have to, if I do it right, I think I still have to take another semester because I plan to get my CPA for accounting, and you need like 50 credit hours. And they could just be of random classes. It doesn't really matter if it's related. So I gotta take a bunch of I might take history to rock and roll,
Yeah.
Easy class.
Yeah. Best class ever.
I'm still debating whether I want to take that CPA because as an accountant, if you have the CPA title, it's just a title and you get more money. Like you still do the same thing. It's just like, oh, you have this title, so you get more money. But
that's exactly how basic is too.
Yeah, I don't know if it'll be worth it because I've heard it's harder. Not necessarily harder, but like as difficult as the bar exam for lawyers. So I just want to do taxes.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's where I'm gonna be at for the next couple of years. So.
Good.
So yeah, you still got school, man. Oh,
sucks.
Yeah. Cool, man. I don't want to be done.
I know I'm tired of school, bro. What is it like technically like our 15th year of school?
Something like that.
Something like that.
Crazy
That's crazy.
Too much, bro.
Yeah.
Too much.
It's too much.
I want to be like Josh. I want to be adult. Josh is adult now. He's adult status.
There, yeah. Almost there.
Almost adult.
Almost there.
I think that's
all right.
Solid. And yeah, I mean, thanks, Don, coming on for sure. You know, it's
Thank you guys for
appreciate
Yeah.
having me. Thank you.
yeah. And appreciate you listening. See y'all in the next episode of the JCPennyless Podcast.
Hey
Catch ya.
guys.